So now that we've previewed the speech, let's take a look at the reason we actually picked the issue of water pollution. Uh, there are many well-known issues in the Youngstown area. For example, we have crime, which is a huge issue. We have the population decrease. Youngstown actually is the only city in the entire United States who's lost about over 2% of their population in 2 years, which is a huge percentage. Another super well-known issue is the issue of fracking, which kind of plays into water pollution but is an issue in its own. And then the last issue we have, then we have poor education. Every single Youngstown City school received an F on their report card according to Ohio.gov, which is a really big issue. The last issue, which is also like a global issue, is healthcare. So because of those reasons, we really wanted to look at issues that were kind of swept under the rug more. The first issue we thought about was obesity. Obesity is an issue. Again, that's more on a global level. It's not specifically a Youngstown issue. As we discussed it, we learned that. The next issue we looked at was road conditions. I don't know if you've ever driven on a back road in Youngstown, but there's a lot of them, and there's a lot of potholes, just really poor conditions on the roads, which can really hurt your vehicles and also is not good for winters. And then the last issue we looked at was water pollution. Again, it's not a huge issue, or so we thought, in Youngstown until we started doing research. But a fun fact about water pollution is that I think it's 758 million people globally don't have access to clean drinking water. So it's not only a Youngstown issue, but it's an issue everywhere that really needs to raise awareness. So let's look at water pollution a little bit more in depth. From our research, we knew of a few areas that have had issues with water pollution, like E. coli in Mill Creek, due to various reasons. There's Mendar Reservoir, Brookfield, Ohio, there's Mill Creek, and even Lake Erie that have all had severe water pollution just in the past few years. And there are actually three types of water pollution we learned. There's groundwater pollution. That happens when I go and dump my oil into, Mendar Reservoir. That's groundwater pollution. Then there's surface water pollution. That's what you see every day. You see trash and debris just floating in water, surface water pollution. And then the last one here is chemical pollution. It's very similar to groundwater pollution, except it happens kind of differently. Chemical pollution is when chemicals get absorbed into the soil, and as a result of that, they end up going into the water. So not directly being poured or dumped or administered into the water, but just by ignorant people or people not really disposing of water properly, or of chemicals properly, it's going to the water as a result of that. So next, we had to look at what was causing the problem, obviously, and there are a few things we found. Mainly, it's uneducated businesses and people. If people aren't aware of the issue, then how are they going to know that it is a problem or that they're doing things wrong? And that's why we chose this topic, because we want to raise awareness and actually educate people. The next cause is uneducated people. That's what I was mentioning. They just aren't aware that they're doing anything wrong. Next is capitalism. There's a lot of money to be made at these huge businesses and corporations, and because of that, they don't really think they can be touched by people like us who are fighting for water pollution rights, I guess you could say. So that's an issue. They think that they're not gonna harm anything because of the good they're doing. I don't know if specifically the cruise plant in Lordstown is actually causing any pollution, but they're doing so much good by having all these jobs and building all these cars that if they were to, for example, be polluting the water, they might just brush it aside because of all the good they're actually doing. And the last cause is lack of funding. There's just so many issues globally going on that you can only spend money so thin. So if we don't have the resources to clean up the water and everything, then there's no way that it's going to be done. I can't start an initiative myself and go and clean up all these biohazardous chemicals out of the water. It's just not possible for me to do, and definitely not safe. So those are the causes, and that's all the research, the outside research, and the problem area selection. Thank you.